If you're an expert in your field, you've probably felt it, right? That little nagging sense that your reach is down, your engagement feels kind of soft, and you're just not cutting through all the noise like you're used to. Okay, let's get into this because there's a huge shift happening online. And I promise you, it is not just in your head.
Does this sound familiar? I bet it does. It's that quiet thought that pops up that maybe, just maybe, the digital world decided it's moved on from what you have to say. And it feels so personal, doesn't it? Like you did something wrong. And that feeling always boils down to this one question. So many brilliant, capable people are asking themselves this exact thing right now. But let me be crystal clear. You are not alone in this. What you're feeling is very real, but the reason for it? Well, it's probably not what you think. Here's the truth of it. The internet didn't just start ignoring you. Nope. It just found a different kind of voice to put on the loudspeaker. A voice that's cheaper, faster, and way more relentless. This has nothing to do with your value. It's about a total shift in the content economy. So, who are you really competing with? Let's talk about that because it's not just the other experts in your field anymore. The entire game has changed, and your real competition, well, it might not even be human. Just to give you a sense of the scale here, get this. Over 70% of marketers are now using AI to create their content. More than half are publishing with it every single week. And a whole lot of them are posting daily. That right there is the new baseline for sheer volume. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. For decades, the way you built credibility was by earning it. You had to do the work, make the mistakes, learn the patterns, and build actual trust with people. But now you're competing against machines that never, ever sleep, never hesitate, and they absolutely never burn out.
And what's the result? A total flood of good enough content. I mean, someone can watch a few YouTube videos, copy some prompts, and boom, by next Tuesday, they're marketing themselves as an expert. This constant fire hose of just okay content is what you're really up against. So this leads to the most important question. Why is this happening? To get it, you have to understand what the algorithms are actually built to see and what they're built to reward. And spoiler alert, it has very little to do with quality, at least not in the way you and I think about it. Okay, let's break this down. An algorithm can't see the subtle judgment you've developed over a 20-year career. All it sees is raw output. It can't recognize the scar tissue you've earned from lessons learned the hard way, but you better believe it recognizes a bright, flashy thumbnail. And it has zero concept of thoughtful restraint. It only understands and rewards relentless, constant repetition. This right here, this is the new mantra of the internet. Speed beats depth, volume beats wisdom, and noise beats nuance. Every single time. It's exactly why people with half your experience can somehow dominate the conversation, while those with twice your value just seem to fade away. And here's the tough part. Staying quiet in this new world isn't a neutral choice. It has a real cost. And that cost actually compounds over time, pulling you into this dangerous downward spiral of invisibility. And after a while of feeling invisible, this is the lie that starts to whisper in your ear. You start to question yourself. You think, maybe I'm the one who fell behind. But you didn't fall behind. You were just under-amplified by a system that completely changed the rules on you. You see how this happens? Visibility builds on itself, but so does invisibility. So while you're taking your time, being thoughtful, others are just testing, publishing, learning at a much faster pace. They're not smarter, not at all. They're just more systematic. They're building the infrastructure, the email lists, the social media channels, the content libraries that wins this new game. But listen, this is not a story about defeat, not even close. You have an incredibly powerful advantage that the machines will never, ever be able to touch. The trick is recognizing it, and more importantly, finally starting to use it. Think about this list for a second. Yeah, AI can spit out words, but it cannot generate real judgment. It can't give deep context or recognize complex patterns that come from years of actually doing the work. It has no ethical compass, no long-term memory, and zero lived experience. That stuff, that is still uniquely and powerfully all yours. But, and this is a big but, here's the warning label. These advantages are like muscles. If you don't use them, they decay. Your wisdom, your experience, it's only a competitive edge if you actually put it into play in the world we live in right now.
And that brings us to what I think is the most important idea in this whole explainer. The real digital divide today, it's not what most people think it is.
We all get so caught up in these old arguments, right? AI versus human, young versus old, fast versus slow. But honestly, these aren't the battles that really matter anymore. They're just a distraction from the real strategic challenge.
This is it. The real divide is between people who have a system and people who don't. That's the whole game. When you have a system, your effort compounds, your reach compounds, your impact compounds over time. And if you don't, well, you just drift. This means the answer isn't just to work harder or to hustle more. The winning strategy today is leverage. It's about taking one of your deep insights and turning it into a blog post and a video and a bunch of social media posts and a newsletter. That's a system. It's about making AI your super smart assistant, not your replacement.
So let's bring this all home. You weren't ignored. You were undercut. Undercut by cheaper, faster, noisier versions of expertise that the current algorithms are literally designed to reward. That doesn't mean you've lost. It just means the rules of the game have changed. So, this is the choice that's in front of you now. The game has changed, and knowing the new rules is the first step. The next step is deciding how you're going to play. Are you going to let all that hard-won wisdom stay private? Or are you going to build the system to make it visible, on purpose? The choice is yours.